In its historic first sitting, the National Royal Commission into Child Abuse has already warned that it's likely to overrun its 2015 deadline because of the scale of the job ahead. From Melbourne, Hamish Fitzsimmons reports.
The Commission says it's already received 1,200 calls about submissions. It expects many more to come forward.
It has been made clear to us that it is likely that there are thousands of people throughout Australia who want to give an account of their experience to the Commission. It seems likely that at least 5,000 people will want to talk to the Commission.
Some think the real number of people wanting to tell their story will well exceed that figure.
Thousands upon thousands, not just hundreds, there are thousands upon thousands of these people who are exactly in the same situation as I was. Our stories may seem the same, but we all travel the same road, but it was a different situation for all of us.
In Victoria alone, I've got over 1,000 claimants who've alleged sexual abuse in care.
As a result, the Commission believes it's likely to go past its December 2015 deadline.
It will be apparent that the task defined by the terms of reference is so large, both as to the number of people who may wish to give their account and the number of institutions who may be affected by allegations, that it is unlikely that the Commission can complete its work within the time frame currently fixed for delivery of the final report.
That came with a plea for patience.
While I understand that people may have been waiting years, if not decades, to tell their story, I do ask that each of you be patient. We will get to you.
For people that have been waiting for decades to tell their story, it may seem a little frustrating, I imagine, at this stage.
Evidence gathered in the Commission's private hearings may not be used in findings, but it may be referred to police if a person gives their permission.
I understand the rationale behind having private hearings, but then what does the Commission do with the evidence that is disclosed in those private hearings?
Justice McClellan stressed that any agreements made in prior abuse case settlements can be overridden by the Commission.
If anyone wishes to tell us his or her story and has a concern about a confidentiality clause in an agreement, the Commission has powers which will overcome the clause.
The federal government has given the Commission powers to act on information immediately.
It will have an investigations unit and it can refer people to the police for the police to make proper judgments about prosecutions. Wrongdoers, in my view, should be brought to justice.
The Commission says it's already started demanding documents from institutions like the Salvation Army and the Catholic Church. Victim support groups say the paper trail will be crucial in finding out what churches knew.
It's unbelievable that parents weren't making complaints if pedophiles were working in the schools for 30 years.
Private hearings get underway in the coming weeks. The Commission's next public hearings will be towards the end of the year. Hamish Fitzsimmons, Lateline.
The senior New South Wales police officer whose revelations to Lateline helped trigger the Royal Commission into child sexual abuse has been denied whistleblower protection. Detective Chief Inspector Peter Fox had been seeking protection under the state's Public Disclosures Act. Denial of that status means he's vulnerable to being sued for going public with allegations against Catholic clergy and some police. Kerry Brewster reports.
An historic day for thousands of victims of institutional sexual abuse, but a stressful one for the senior police officer who blew the whistle.
You know, at the end of the day, if I'm not covered under the Act, I suppose, you know, a lot of people may ask the question, what the hell's the legislation for?
If probably the most prominent whistleblower in the last decade is being denied protection or threatened with being denied protection, what kind of message does that send to all the other whistleblowers who are likely to be far less prominent and have a far less public position from which to defend themselves? It's a chilling message to any potential whistleblower in this state.
Among Detective Chief Inspector Peter Fox's explosive allegations to Lateline last year was the claim that New South Wales police chiefs removed him from his lead role, investigating widespread sex crimes by Catholic priests in the New South Wales Maitland-Newcastle diocese.
There's something very wrong when you have so many pedophile priests operating in such a small area for such an extended period of time with immunity. And, you know, my I submitted report after report suggesting that we needed to do a lot more about investigating this. Why that didn't happen, I've never received a response.
In the days before the federal government announced a royal commission, New South Wales Premier Barry O'Farrell acted, establishing his own state commission to investigate how police handled the evidence which stemmed from Peter Fox's investigation.
What I'm determined to do is ensure that these allegations are properly investigated.
The Premier publicly supported the role Peter Fox had played.
Again, I want to acknowledge the commitment of Mr Fox to the victims and his determination to ensure to the extent that it's possible that wrongs are righted.
For the past 2 weeks, Peter Fox has been giving in-camera evidence to the New South Wales inquiry. Then late last week came the bombshell from the New South Wales Police. A legal letter to his solicitor denying the detective whistleblower protection on the ground that he'd failed to satisfy the provisions of the Public Disclosures Act.
The disclosures your client seeks to be protected by the Act were first made to a journalist on the ABC program Lateline. Those disclosures were made without the earlier making of substantially the same disclosures to an investigating authority, public authority, or officer of a public authority.
Well, the message is don't put your head up. If you put your head up, you talk to a journalist, you blow the whistle on corruption or maladministration, well, then you may well not be protected. Your career might be lost. Adverse action could be taken against you.
I didn't even know the Act existed, in all honesty, let alone what provisos there are in it. In short, I didn't have confidence in other departments that something would be done, and I was also concerned that it may not have gained the public attention that it has.
New South Wales Greens MP David Shoebridge maintains Peter Fox told senior police of his frustrations, but was ignored.
Well, the Premier needs to make a public commitment that regardless of any legal technicality, any nonsense that the lawyers are putting forward, that this man, this brave man, who I think has been probably the single largest reason why we've got a National Royal Commission looking into the crime of child sexual abuse, this man is protected regardless.
There was no comment from Premier O'Farrell's office today. Police media issued 2 press statements, the latter stating that no disciplinary procedures or other detrimental action would be taken against Peter Fox in reprisal for his disclosures. Kerry Brewster, Lateline.